Okay, time for a much delayed monthly update, which ends up being once every other month, so bang on time, sort of. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've done a video on this channel, and the last one was just that magazine, the Amiga format that I did probably around a month ago, which was, you know, a lot of fun to do, but fairly quick. Yeah, I've had a bit of a cold the last week, so replay was last weekend, and yeah, I've just had really bad cold. Had a really good day on the Monday with Erwin Costado in the Lake District, and on the way back I was starting to feel really ill. So just, you know, cold bug that probably hit me about a week before, and it's taken its time, but you didn't need to know that. So yeah, what have I been up to in the last month or so? This kind of. So this is in the games room that I've filmed things before. I've completely moved things around and scaled down what's in here. Got rid of, not necessarily a lot of games, but I've got rid of a load of old books and old DVDs and things in the house that were taking up room, and I thought, well, kind of take things out of here and put things, you know, squirrel it away in a cupboard. So I've got a load of old PS1 games which could probably go, and some PS2, you know, games in the collection, which some I'll keep, some I'll probably just archive for, you know, a rainy day in the future. So I'm keeping my Mega Drive games, SNES games, you know, Jaguar, some of the more played on PS1 games, PC Engine, things like that, and Saturn games. The games that I really want to keep, I've kept in here, and the rest I've, you know, put into storage. But it does mean that I've got this sofa now, which was sort of cheap from IKEA. It folds into a bed, so it has two purposes. And in front of me I've now got the another unit from IKEA, which has got like 8 holes in it, and I've got a console in each one hooked up to the CRT, which is there, and the Amiga, which is there, which may or may not be in shot because there's no viewfinder on the front of this, so probably my head has been cut off, but I don't think so. Yeah, I was having a real problem with this because I was finding, you know, I'm enjoying the retro games and the collection and everything, but I wasn't really playing the games, which was a real shame. I was doing the gameplays now and again, but I just wasn't sitting and enjoying them, and I think the problem is that I like sitting on the couch. I've been playing a lot of modern games recently, you know, Alien Isolation and games like that, and Alien Colonial Marines, which I did enjoy, funnily enough. And I just wanted to get that back for playing these kind of games, because I don't like playing them on an LCD telly. They just don't feel right. So I've got this set up, and I've, yeah, been enjoying it, which is probably why I haven't been making that many videos, because I've been enjoying playing games. So I got this probably about 4 weeks ago off eBay. I think I paid about £7 for it, which is the Menacer. So this supports the built-in 6-game cartridge, which I've had a look at and yeah, not too keen on. But the other one is T2, the arcade game. So this has got everything hooked onto it. When I play it, I just take all the top off. You don't really need it. But yeah, this appeared on T-Rex Space Station's video, which was like a spoof video of ridiculous shoot-em-ups, like advice for it. So that did appear on there, and I think this sofa did as well. Yeah, it did. So yeah, so from Replay, which was fantastic, so I got to meet the Retro Unlim guys, because I've been asked to be part of the site probably about a month ago, and I've been waiting until the new site's ready to start making content on it. And it's something that I've been aware of but never really got involved with, and it's nice just to be welcomed into a really great community. You know, I'd seen the introduction on the front of videos, and I was aware that they'd done a few videos. Cat come to say hello. This one doesn't talk, that one does. But yeah, I'd seen a few of their videos and not really gotten into it, and I think, you know, meeting the people is a lot of fun, so I've enjoyed that. So I've bought a few things. So the theme seems to be tooling up. So I got this, which is the Namco G-Con 2. which I don't think you'd be able to buy now because it looks too much like a gun, whereas that clearly doesn't. The main reason for getting these is that I've seen them so many times at shows that they're often pretty cheap because people are. Oh, the cat wants to. I don't know what he wants. He's just been fed, so I think he just wants love and attention, and he probably also wants to be, tooled up to the max. So a cat with a gun. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to put that back in. But yeah, the reason I decided to start buying these now is there's not a huge. I mean, with the Mega Drive, there isn't a huge selection of games for this. The PlayStation, there are quite a few games, but they only work on CRTs, and I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to collect CRTs, and it's catching on. So the demand for these guns, these light guns, will go up. So I thought, I better get in now. So I bought a few games from. I think he just wants to sit down. I bought a few games from Replay. So I got the Time Crisis games. So this is Time Crisis Project Titan. Heart of Darkness. That's not a light gun game, but it was like buy 3 for a tenner, I believe. I got Time Crisis 2 for the PlayStation 2 and Time Crisis 3, and for the PS1 I got, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Is Defcon 5, which isn't a great game, but the reason I got this was because it's kind of like Wolfenstein, so everything's set in like an indoor it's like an FPS. There goes something. It's like an FPS, but everything's set in a grid, which is like Wolfenstein, and it's ideas for making the Dreamcast engine. Really, I'm just looking at gameplay ideas on how to make a good game. Ow! What? He's got sharp claws. Stop it! Stop it! I know you want to play it, but you can't. It's sealed. No. No, you can play on your Master System. Yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm trying to get ideas for how to make an innovative game in that style. So Space Hulk is a really obvious example, but it's quite repetitive. So I was just looking at that as another type of game, which isn't considered great, but just another example. And the last one I got was this one, which was Ocarina of Time for the N64. So I did have that on the 3DS, but this is the next part of, I suppose, what's been going on. I've now officially gone next gen, if you don't count the Wii U. So the PS3, sorry, PS4 rather. What? Oh, I think he wants to sit on my lap. Right, that's all he wanted. He, cats, they want to do what they want and they don't care. Yeah, so the PS4 rather was a machine that I've been looking at for a while. I decided quite a while ago that the PS4 was the machine I was going to go for rather than the 360, partially because of the slightly better GPU, but also because I preferred a lot of the exclusives that were on it. I mean, there's not that many, but anyway. And I didn't really, I couldn't justify shelling 300 quid out and then the games on top of it. So I had a look and I thought, well, what have I got that I can trade in? So I thought, I'll take a load of stuff to Computer Exchange and pay the difference. So I had an Nexus 7, which has been sat in a drawer for quite a long time. It doesn't really get used. So I thought, okay, got the original box, all the cables, it's good condition, no scratches. I should get something for it. And about 18 months ago, I bought that Windows 8, that Intel CPU based tablet, the little Acer one, which is fine, and I wanted it as like a desktop or a kind of laptop stroke tablet hybrid, and I found it wasn't really good as either of them. Even though you could play emulators and things on them, I just never did. What? I know you want to be the centre of attention, but not this time. And yeah, so I tend to keep everything, probably see down, everything's boxed. I don't bin anything, and yeah, I got a good deal for that. And I looked around and thought, really, is there anything I can thin out and get rid of? This is part of the theme of getting rid of everything I don't use. And the 3DS was there, and I hardly played on it. It was really, I'd like to say it was 2012 when I played Dragon Quest 4 on the DS on it, but that was a DS game. And I've played a couple of games after that, but not many, so I thought, yeah, it's a bit of a loss, but I tend to find I play this more, and even the PSP. So, yeah, so I took those in, and a load of old Xbox 360 and PS3 games which I played. I had my fill with them, probably not going to play them again, and if I really wanted, I could buy them back in a few years' time. Cheap. So I took them all in, and yeah, they said you've actually got an XS. So I was able to get a couple of games with it, and a little bit of cash or store credit left over, which was really good. So yeah, I've been quite impressed with the PS4, been playing a bit of Drive Club. It looks good. The frame rate, I wish it was 60 frames a second, like Forza on the Xbox One, but the draw distance is fantastic, because I like games like the Need for Speed, the original one, where it's not circuit based, it's just a large kind of terrain, and you just go on out for a country drive. So the locations are very similar, so you get Canada, you get Scotland, where else is there? Germany, I think, as well. Finland, is it Finland? And then there's a huge 14 gig update which you download, which gives you tracks in India and Japan and a bunch of other countries, and more cars, which is great. But yeah, that was a good game to play. So yeah, I'm looking forward to slowly building up the collection on that. There aren't that many games at the moment I want to play, but there are a few, and it seemed like a good time to go next generation. And fortunately, I got it 1 week before the PT demo got pulled, so I got to play that, and yeah, that's a good game. It would be nice to see more games like that that make good use of the hardware. So what else? Dreamcast. Yeah. It was quite good to be able to show what I'd done at Replay, taking another Dreamcast, unofficially popping the lid, putting the disc in and showing the demo. So there were a few people there that I got to show the demo to, and quite a few people that asked for requests and asked me how the kind of engine progress was going. So one person particularly was Gadget UK, who recognised me and said, "Yeah, I really like the stuff you're doing with the engine." So that's really good, just to see that people are interested. So here's the difficult thing. I haven't really done much for a couple of months, just not out of lack of interest, it's just lack of time. And I've come to the decision to throw everything away. And the reason for that is, about 18 months ago I did the Sprite engine, like the superscaler stuff, and I was trying to figure out what worked, what didn't on the hardware. Then I did the landscape example, which was like the terrain, and it did the tessellation and stuff, so it renders more detail up close and less detail further away, so you can render much terrain that goes much further into the distance, not much memory, blah blah blah. That was fine. And then on top of that, I kind of hacked in the FPS or interior sections, and it kind of breaks a little bit, because you get the nice tessellation stuff, and I've got the lighting engine and all sorts, but it's really a terrain engine that's been hacked, and it's getting to the point where there's certain things that become very difficult to change on it. So I think those experiments have worked, and what I want to do now is to start making the game. So that engine was never meant to be a game, it was just an idea. So there are a few ideas I've got. I've got to be careful with the hardware not to get too carried away to make something that looks too modern, because all the stuff with the interior sections and the light bloom and depth of field and all this stuff, I could make a game that's a bit like Alien Isolation, but would that really make sense on the Dreamcast? Probably not. You know, maybe a game like Space Hulk, which is why I got the DEFCON 5 game as research. But what I want to do is just step back and go, okay, let's start making the game itself and take the bits of engine code and rewrite them, optimize them, make them much simpler to engineer. So I'm not exactly throwing the code away. A bit dramatic. It's just starting again and reusing bits where appropriate. So see them as little libraries. But what I want to do this time, and I got myself in trouble before, was I'm not really good at doing art, and I can't really build large levels, just the time available. So what I want to do is do procedural terrain generation, like Minecraft style. So you can generate landscapes really easy in Minecraft. So what I want to do is, one game is like a super scalar type of game, and I tried that with a landscape. Now that doesn't work for landscapes because you get sprites clashing with each other in the distance, which slows the machine down. But I think you could do a game like Grand Chaser or Radmobile, same game, and do procedural generation of the tracks, and maybe have like a landscape layer underneath it as traditional polygons, but everything else is sprites. I'm not sure if that would break the illusion or not, but what I want to do is have a number of different game types, but it all be in the same engine. So probably what I'll do is start with this kind of racing style or shooting style, because the problem is I'd like to make a clone of a game like Soulstar on the Mega CD, but when you look at it now, there's not very many sprites, and that mixes like these flat Mode 7 style landscapes with sprites, and that works. So I think I'll take that graphical style and do something that's sort of racing in some sections, flying in other, and it's just the same craft whether you use gravity or not. So I think the interior FPS stuff probably won't apply for the moment. Maybe if you land on a base or something, maybe it could switch into that. But I like the whole thing to be seamless, so there's no loading as far as you can see. Not like a loading screen. It just streams everything in. There was a really good Oculus Rift demo by a guy whose name I forget. His first name's David, because he commented that we have the same name. But he built this game where you start off either in space, you land on like a wreck, and you go inside it, and then you can go onto a planet. But there was loading in between, and what I wanted to do was that kind of thing, but without the loading, which can be quite difficult to do, but we'll see with that. I may be shooting myself in the foot by picking something too ambitious. So what I think I'll start with is just do this super scalar, a game, or like a racing game, a bit like Radmobile, but have the idea that the car can take off and you can do shooting. Probably just stick with that, get that to work, and then worry about doing something more advanced later on. Because I think the danger is, with featureitis, you can keep changing it and changing it and changing it, and you rewrite the engine, it gets so complex that nothing gets done. And I'd hate to think that, I've been tinkering with Dreamcast probably since about 2000, but I kind of moved on to other things in about 2003. But I came back about 3 years ago, so I've done a lot of experiments, and I know what works and what doesn't with the hardware, so I know the limitations and I know how to program it. It's just building the game. So yeah, something between Radmobile and Soulstar, kind of. Yeah, that's been a really long video, and my nose is running because I've got cold still. Hopefully that'll disappear, and this one's settled down now. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. So thanks to everyone who came to say hello at Replay last week. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, thanks for everyone for being so welcoming. That you know, people are really approachable. You just go up to them and have a good chat, and yeah, we're all friends. So yeah, so I'll see you probably in a video maybe next week-ish. I can't promise that I'm going to do any more, you know, coding on the Dreamcast stuff, but maybe there'll be something to show, maybe. So thanks for watching, and I'll do another video soonish.